So I had this whole bit I was gonna do where I was gonna fake rage, but might be a little noisy and it's late, so I'm probably not gonna do that. Welcome back to Sykese Things, the channel where I talk about whatever comes to mind. So that college football game yesterday actually did somewhat make a negative impact on my New Year's Eve, but probably not for the reasons you're expecting. So I should start off by saying that I'm really not into college football that much. Out of the sports that appear on my TV willingly, college football is probably my least favorite. I would much rather tune into something like college basketball or even the NFL. College football just isn't really that fun to me. Unlike March Madness in the NFL playoffs where virtually any team can make it, any team can go the distance, the CFP is made up of the same group of 6 teams every single year, and then there's maybe an oddball team every few years. It's kinda boring. This current system sucks. And I'm actually anticipating to see how the 12-team selection comes into play, but for now we get one more season of this trash format. So that's another season that I'm mostly gonna tune out of. Though of course when my team does well, I'll sometimes check in. Case in point, 13-0. While I don't care much for the sport, my family, especially my dad, are mega into it. And that actually comes into play later for this video. Now about the actual game recently, statistically it was a very good game. I enjoyed how it went and it was entertaining. It's not the game itself that drives me away from college football. It's the vicious atmosphere around it that I don't enjoy. Case in point, the bullying, and yes, I'm calling it bullying, from fans on social media. Posting pictures of fans in distress that likely have never sent a single message on social media, clowning on them and then making them widespread. That's literally the teenage girl bully getting an embarrassing picture of someone and then spreading it all throughout the school. How do people look at it and just be okay with it? Go after the coaches? Debatable if you go after the players, maybe if they try to be boastful and say something stupid beforehand. But people don't realize that most fans are silent, but these silent fans will still see these things. A specific example that I won't show an image of, but if you root for Michigan, you probably know what I'm referring to. The kid with the glasses. He was literally a kid, and because one picture caught him mid-crying, he became a symbol for mockery whenever anything goes bad for that specific team. Another team's fans spread it and essentially bully the kid. It's in such bad taste, and it's pitiful. Imagine being that kid grown up, and that moment and the mockery around it is the only thing people recognize you for. It's despicable. Now, where does this fan behavior come into play specifically in my case? Well, I work at a theater, and they decided to show both the semifinal games for free, and it sold out. Obviously, 151 people in Michigan gear came to watch the game on the big screen, and as the sole guy at the concessions checkout station, I had to take the bluntness, bickering, yelling, and who knows what else from these angry, whiny, narcissistic, bratty fans. Some of these guys actually said it was their least favorite day they could remember, and keep in note, they say this when their families are right there with them. They're all together for the season. All the meanwhile, you got me standing there at work, not being with any of my family. I had to work till 11 p.m. New Year's Eve, which was already bad enough. But then these arrogant, selfish, ridiculous looking fans, decked out in their stupid looking hats and glasses and jerseys. I don't really care about this version of the sport, but when several people bicker and be nasty towards you, that starts to rub off on you, and eventually I found myself kind of being in that same mood. I would be fine with either outcome for the game at that point. If they won, those people wouldn't be angry anymore, but if they lost, they would get their just desserts. So the game ends and the result happens, and as predicted, they're walking out mumbling to themselves. But you know what? I'm relieved none of them went straight to me afterwards. And so I close up my side of the place and I get out at roughly 11 p.m. I'm relieved because I still have my favorite part of the day ahead, watching the ball drop with the extended family. I get there and of course, since all my extended family are also giant Michigan fans, they're all bickering as well throughout the whole party and they just completely kill the vibe. They also have the second semifinal game on, the OSU Georgia one. It's about 10:40 p.m. my time, so I'm shrugging it off. They just continue to bicker and hate watch this game, and before I know it, it's 10 minutes till, and this game is still on the TV. And despite my pleas to turn it so we can watch the ball drop, they just ignore it, and I ended up missing it. I missed my one opportunity to make this awful day worth it, because these people were so bitter and arrogant that they couldn't spare 2 minutes to celebrate the new year, because they wanted to hate watch their rivals lose by 1 point to the top ranked team in the country. And then boast about it like a bunch of... They're still my family and I love them, and I can't swear, but you guys get what I'm trying to say here. I cherish every new year because I never know how many I have left. And I always take every ball drop and make the most out of it, because it's a fun time, at least it's supposed to be. I would always be reminded of who I still had during the new year and be able to celebrate it with them. And because of some lousy college football, I was robbed of it. I did end up leaving that party immediately alone, and I drove back to watch the rest of the special back at the house by myself. I did get to see the New Orleans one live, so I still saw a drop of some sorts, but come on man, it's just not the same. I think my dad understood that this actually was extremely upsetting for me, and he apologized for how it went, and it honestly doesn't undo that as he verbally said no to changing it. I don't know. Hopefully I can find a way to make up that experience in some way or another. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to my rambling. If you did, why not leave a like down below? It goes a long way. I hope you guys had a far better New Year than me, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.